What is up, y'all? It is me, Tasha C, from the Tasha C Show podcast. I wanted to tell you about Anchor. Now, if you're already a podcaster or you're wanting to go into the world of podcasting, let me tell you about Anchor. Now, this is one of the easiest ways to make a podcast. Number one, it is free. Number two, it's free. Second of all, there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, y'all. Which right now, I am using my phone through their app in order to record and tell y'all about Anchor. Also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy. If you want to distribute everything from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and so forth, and many, many more, you go right ahead and use Anchor, and Anchor will do that all for you. And you can also make from your podcast, you can make money for it. You don't need a minimum amount of listenership and so forth. And like I said, that I mentioned that Anchor is completely free, and it gives so many creation tools, y'all. And I'm still trying to find out how to use them. So everything you need is in this podcast, okay? So anyway, go ahead and make sure you download the free Anchor app or go to anchorfm.com to get started. Anchor app is both on, the Apple phones and the Androids. So take care again. Choose Anchor. All right. See y'all. Hugs and love. What is up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C, and welcome to the Tasha C Show. Shout out to my YouTube and YouTube fam, and podcast fam, hugs and love, and all the above. If you're not a part of my podcast fam, you like what you hear, you go ahead and click, follow wherever the follow button is. Or if you're listening through YouTube, you can go ahead and click that subscribe button as well. But don't forget to put Tasha C TV. Of course, I already said my podcast name, which is Tasha C Show. Just put that in the podcast, and it should be like a little cartoon, like comic, version of my picture. It will say that filter, use for it. So, anyway, y'all, it is 4:43 in the morning, a.m. It is Thursday, September 24th. Beginning of Libra season, which is one of my favorite times because I am a Libra. But I'm an October Libra, okay? But anyway, I know that's random. I'm still up. I'm up here dog sitting again, my furry nephew. Originally, the other day when the Emmys had came on, I was going to but it was going to be long where I talk about listening to that little commentary, because it was so many wins for Black people like Zendaya. Congrats to her for being the youngest person to win. I think it's supporting actress award for the Emmys or so forth. And Kerry Washington won one. Eddie Murphy, I think, won a couple. Yaya, I can never say his last name, but if you remember, watch such episodes of Watchmen, Black Mirror. Whenever they come back with a new Candyman, just a few movies I can name on top of my head or programs that he's been in. But I said, forget it. I had lost track when I was doing the listings, and I was just like, I'll come back to later. Now this, I might be my first time depending on it because of the subject matter. Y'all, if y'all are listening to YouTube, it might not. It may, it may be the full podcast, but because of what I'm about to talk about, it may be a certain amount that is on YouTube, depending on how I'm able to upload it. And then the only way you can listen to the whole full podcast of me venting on how I feel about what the hell is going on. And, how I feel about talking about, the injustice or non-justice and the mess of Breonna Taylor. So I may, like I said, y'all, YouTube, if y'all want to listen to the podcast, because the full amount, like I said, look at Anchor and other places below where you can find my podcast in order to hear the complete thing. Now, like I said, if it's cut off, y'all, on YouTube, then y'all gonna have to listen to the link, like I said, from Anchor or Spotify or Apple or Stitcher. Yeah, Stitcher, or just have to look. Okay, sorry y'all, but I use this phone. This is Anchor, so I don't know if you can hear the clicks. If you hear beeps, that's notification on my line. Okay, but anyway, Of course, there is so much going on in the world. We got the Rona, we're still with injustice, mentioning about the Rona. It's 200,000 people who are no longer here. They're taking yonder, if you know what I mean, in the U.S. alone. But hearing the news of yesterday, which is not surprising, that there was no justice for Breonna Taylor. And a lot of questions can come up. It come up like, again, about black being one of the most disrespected people, maybe in this country, maybe throughout over the world. And the fact is the value of the life. Now, I think it was last week, a week before last. Okay, y'all, I don't precisely remember. Now, there was 3 officers, you might say whether it was intentionally or not, but remember that killed. They're responsible for the fact that Breonna Taylor is no longer here. And yet, only one was indicted in the first place. And we have that person, General Coon. Yeah, I'm going to say with this Coon. Okay, wait a minute. I'm not trying to cut before the 10 minutes begins. But, before the 10 minutes are passed by. But it just goes to show that they have no audacity where they settle with the family. Now, in the civil suit, they won $12 million, the family Breonna Taylor has. And we all know the controversy. I think we're trying to have the boyfriend turn on or get a ex-boyfriend. It was like some of this information, excuse me, y'all, the clock is in the background. Some of the information is I got to the point with more of the information that I didn't want to read it because it was so much negative anger just to keep my blood pressure, just not to get stressed out. I honestly, y'all, didn't read some of the information. I read bits and pieces that when you go straight on timeline of Instagram, for example, and probably y'all, if y'all you use Facebook, have seen, or, maybe on the media, if y'all, watch news, whatever, or watch certain programs on the TV, or even on YouTube, including, you can find information, or even certain other podcasts, radio stations and stuff. It's just a pure mess. It is just disturbing how basically this is like a slap on the wrist. But at the same time, to keep like, okay, we'll throw some money at the family so they'll be shut the hell up. Okay, so the family was able to get $12 million as far as civil lawsuit. But it's priceless because, once your life is here, you're no longer here. That is it. But what is so disturbing is, but turn around, but like I said, it's sad, but to a certain degree, I'm not surprised of the verdict or lack of, because you might as well say none of the mofos, these officers, these people, trash bag of these 3 offers, these a-holes, go to bed at night. They probably don't even give it to them. They able to go back to their families or whatever the case is with no problem. Okay, and y'all, and I'm going to ask a question. I don't even recall, like I said, because of the subject of, unfortunately, this is reoccurring. This shouldn't be still ongoing, where we continue to go down the same spiral. This is a 360 thing that we keep doing. And this is why I have to say Black Lives Never, say her name or say his name. This is ongoing. Okay? And some people may try to slide off and say, well, what about the black on black crime? Okay, there was also white crime too. Okay, that is also an issue of people who kill children race. But we're talking about how these people who go into the field, some of these people who take and abuse their power in the position that they are in. And again, this is what it is. And especially that gives the wrong message for people. Whereas, if they want to do that, they know they're going to be protected where it gets under the rug, especially if the person, if you know what I mean, has a permanent tan, is melanated, and is black. Okay? And, so, to listen to the rest of this podcast, please look in the description box below. Take care.